Unlike other twins who walk through life hand in hand, twin sisters Marina and Katya were separated by fate. After finishing high school, Marina got into college, but Katya failed her entrance exams. Katya told Marina to go and get her education. "Are you going to drop out of college because of me? It's enough that there will be one loser in the family, it's me. We don't need a second one." "But I think I'm getting married," Katya laughed. "So that's why you failed your exams." Marina wondered if your head was flying in the clouds, and even I did not notice it. And they say that twins feel each other, so it was decided. Marina left for Moscow, began studying for 2, and immersed herself in scientific activities. And Katya got married as she was going to and stayed in her native small town. A couple of years later, Katya gave birth to twins, boys Vadik and Slavik. Marina was a little jealous of her sister, but she believed she would meet her love and have her twins one day. Marina wanted twins. A person who had lived her whole life with a sister or brother who had shared her mother's womb from the very beginning could not physically imagine how it was possible to live alone in the world. Marina considered everyone who did not have a sister or twin brother to be flawed. She missed her sister very much. She did not miss her mother as much as her sister. From that, she immersed herself more and more in her studies. Life seemed to pass Marina by. On the rare days of vacation, she would come home, and only God knows how much she didn't want to leave afterward, forcibly dragging herself out of the house. Marina watched Katya's children grow up and dream of her own children. It seemed to her that she would have the same children for some reason. It was not for nothing that she and her sister were twins. The boys were about 3 years old. They ran after their aunt and did not understand why she looked so much like their mother, chattering something in their own language they shared with each other. By the way, Marina and Katya also had their language. Now they no longer remembered it, but mother said they often sat opposite each other and said incomprehensible things. Still, it seemed that the girls understood each other and had meaningful conversation. So Katya's boys were in no hurry to switch to ordinary language. This time, Marina was left with a heavy feeling in her heart, and for some reason, it seemed that they would never see each other again. She kept putting off the departure, even changing her ticket, but she couldn't put it off any longer. Classes were starting tomorrow. Marina looked out to the train window and waved to her mother and sister. It seemed to her that Katya was somehow tense during the vacation, as if she was hiding something, and her mother looked so tired. What were they hiding? They probably didn't want to say to not worry Marina and she would do well in her studies, but they didn't realize that ignorance only makes it worse. Her mother and sister also waved back at Marina, and she wondered what they were hiding from her. Perhaps her mother became ill, so they decided to keep silent, not to worry Marina. Marina was the only one in her family to go to college. Usually everyone's education was over after school and they went to a factory or to work. And here it was not just a college, but a great university in Moscow. The whole family prayed for Marina. That night she slept uneasily, tossing and turning. A roommate even woke her up and asked if she was sick, moaning as if she was fighting with someone. But Marina did not remember anything she dreamed of, as if she were far away and out of her mind. "I have to go home," she told her roommate. "Go where? You came back 3 days ago. Your luggage isn't unpacked," said the roommate. "I don't give a damn. I have to go home. The luggage isn't unpacked, it's a sign," Marina said. Her roommate protested. "And what about your studies? The semester's just beginning. I'll catch up later," replied Marina. "You're in your last year," continued her roommate. "I have a mother," said Marina and began to pack. Such a terrible feeling of anxiety Marina had never felt in her life. While on the train, she did not even realize that she was already at the station in her town. No one had met her, but she knew the way home perfectly well. Strangely enough, it was locked. She rang the bell, but no one opened the door. Someone must have happened to her mother, who was in hospital maybe. She had to go to her sister's house. Luckily, her sister didn't live too far away. Before she reached Katya's house, Marina met her mother, who was walking down the street looking somehow lost. They ran into each other. "Marina, my God, how did you get here?" Her mother burst into tears. What happened? The girl didn't understand. Her mom wasn't in the best condition, but she was alive nevertheless. "Katya's gone," sobbed the mother. "I don't understand. Where did she go? Where is she?" Marina still didn't understand what had happened. She died. Her husband found her yesterday in the bathroom. She was foolishly taking a bath and started drying her hair with a hairdryer, which slipped out of her hands and fell right into the tub, her mother said. Marina couldn't believe it. Katya would never dry her hair with a hairdryer lying in the water. She loved to walk around with a towel on her head, and her hair was the last thing she tidied up after a shower, especially since Katya didn't like blow dryers and used them very rarely. She thought a hairdryer would dry out her hair too much. The next day, Marina went to wash her sister's body, as was tradition. They didn't have any rules about it. It was just something Marina suddenly wanted to do. She felt that only she could accompany her sister on her last journey. Katya lay on the table as if she was just asleep. Marina wanted to grab her by the shoulders, shake her, and tell her to stop joking around. The prank dragged on and it was time to go home, but Katya was cold as ice. Marina soaked a sponge in rose oil water and began to wash her sister. Suddenly, she noticed something glittering in the dead woman's mouth. A note. Marina pulled it out carefully. It was so tightly clamped in her teeth that it was no surprise the pathologist didn't notice it. The post-mortem was done to check for electrocution. It turned out to be a library card in the local library in the name of some Sveta Fedotova or Fokina. Who was she, and what was her ticket in her sister's mouth? Marina decided to find out for herself. Finished with her sister, she went to the library. As it turned out, a classmate of her and Katya's worked at the library, and she said they had no Fokina, but there was Fedotova, and here she is. The librarian pointed at a girl in the hall. Marina slowly walked toward her, wondering what she would do and what she would say, but Sveta looked up and saw Marina, all pale as if she'd seen a ghost. "It's you!" she shouted to the whole library. "How did you survive? I drowned you myself!" After the confession, the murderer was arrested, and at the police interrogation, she said she was the lover of Katya's husband. He was afraid the court would impose high child support because it's rare in our country to leave children with their fathers. Katya had her place, and even though she was on maternity leave, she had a job. That's why he made the whole scenario about Katya's death up, so his lover would sneak into the house and throw a hairdryer in the water while Katya would be in the bathroom. He opened the door for her himself, but they got into a fight, and that same library card fell out of Sveta's pocket. Katya somehow managed to grab it there and clamp it in her teeth. However, Sveta was stronger. She drowned Katya and threw the hairdryer into the bathtub. Katya's killer and husband both ended up in jail. After her sister's funeral, Marina asked her mother where Katya's children were. They had been at a neighbor's house the whole time. Their mother asked her to keep an eye on them. Mom came, and the children screamed when Marina came to take them home. "My darlings, let's go home," said Marina. Now she had twins, just like her sister, though at a very high cost. That's the story, and thank you for listening to the end. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and click on the bell button not to miss any new videos. All the best.